ITV Loose Women pulled off air as Ruth Langsford makes important announcement. Loose Women star Ruth Langsford shared an important announcement at the end of Monday's show. Loose Women star Ruth Langsford made an important announcement at the end of Monday's June 16 show. During today's edition of the hit ITV program, Ruth appeared alongside Olivia Attwood, Brook and Nadia Sawalha to discuss the latest news from across the UK and around the world. At the end of the live broadcast, she gave viewers a crucial update regarding the show's schedule. Ruth informed fans that Loose Women would not be airing for the rest of the week as the program makes way for Royal Ascot. "That's it from us today, I'm afraid. It gets worse, we're not on all week," she said. ITV's coverage of Ascot will be on, but we will be back same time next Monday. Until then, have a lovely week. The 2025 Royal Ascot Festival starts on Tuesday, June 17, and runs until Saturday, June 21. Horse racing fans will be able to tune into the event from 1:30 p.m. on ITV1 for the rest of this week, with coverage concluding at 6 p.m. The ITV lunchtime news will air at the earlier time of 1 p.m. Loose Women will return to screens next Monday, June 23 at the usual time of 12:30 p.m. Elsewhere on today's show, the panelists spoke about the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer's new inquiry into grooming gangs after he previously said that a nationwide probe wasn't necessary. "Hopefully, out of this, lessons will be learned and things will change," Nadia said, with Ruth adding, "I think they're looking for more than lessons learned. They want people to be brought to account." The panel also spoke to Love Island's Amy Hart, who was live in the studio to discuss the hit dating show's 10-year anniversary. She opened up about how the experience changed her life for the better after she famously left the villa following her relationship with Curtis Pritchard breaking down. The show also celebrated Lorraine producer Helen Addis, who received an MBE for her services to cancer awareness and charitable fundraising. Helen notably founded Lorraine's Change and Check campaign. TV news couple removes their wedding rings, catching viewers' attention. Former This Morning co-hosts Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford announced their split in May 2024. A year after they announced their split following 14 years of marriage, Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford have ditched their wedding rings. In recent weeks, the former couple and ITV This Morning co-hosts have been spotted with empty ring fingers, catching the attention of fans. Videos by PopCulture.com. Despite previously telling a fan that she would not remove her engagement and wedding rings, because I am still married, Langsford, 65, raised eyebrows when she appeared on the Monday, May 19 episode of Loose Women with a bare ring finger. Just days later, on the Tuesday, June 3 episode of GB News, Holmes, 65, was spotted without his wedding ring. According to the Daily Mail, the broadcaster and journalist does occasionally remove his ring, and was seen just days earlier without the piece of jewelry while attending the launch party of a new luxury raffle company. The former couple, who co-hosted This Morning together for 14 years, have ditched their rings a year after they shocked fans by announcing their split after 14 years of marriage. Holmes and Langsford married in 2010, but shared in a statement through their spokesperson in May of last year that their marriage is over and they are in the process of divorcing. "Just before we move on, we'd just like to thank people for your support for Ruth and I over the last few days as to the news of our separation," Holmes later addressed their decision to split. "Your support for both of us is very much appreciated." In the years since announcing their split, both Holmes and Langsford, whose divorce hasn't yet been finalized, have moved on with their lives. Holmes has sparked new romance with girlfriend Katie Alexander, 43. Langsford, meanwhile, is really coming into her own now and is putting the heartache behind her, a source told OK. Ruth has had a tough year, but actually, she's realized a lot of unexpected positives have come out of it. She's learned how to let her hair down and about the power of friendship. You learn who your friends are when you have a year from hell, and she has people around her who love and support her, the source said. It's not what she would have wanted, of course it's not. Divorce wasn't in her grand life plan. But she's realizing that there's a brilliant, exciting life after Eamon. She's really put the work in on herself, and she is looking amazing after her glow up. It's been heartbreaking, but now she's excited about the future. Eamon Holmes slams horrible former TV co-stars in furious rant. The former This Morning presenter has hit out at his former showbiz colleagues in a furious rant, branding them false and horrible in a heated debate. GB News host Eamon Holmes didn't hold back as he tore into his previous television cohorts, labeling them false amid a charged discussion. Joined by his co-host Paul Coit and actor Ray Winstone for the latest installment of the Things We Like podcast, Holmes didn't shy away from expressing his antipathy during their talk. Ray shared his experiences living in Los Angeles, explaining how the relentless nature of Hollywood's glamour drove him back to the UK. The conversation took a turn when Ray reflected, "I couldn't live in LA, it's constant. Even the guy who puts petrol in your car works in the industry. It's like every 2 minutes, it's all they want to talk about. We talk about birds and football and boxing, they talk about movies. Hollywood and Los Angeles are wonderful places when you're doing all right, but not when you're not." Holmes then weighed in with his own grievances concerning superficial connections in showbiz, imitating comments typically made behind the scenes. "I don't like this character, I don't like so-and-so, I like that person, I didn't get on with them." He continued, concurring with Ray's sentiments, "That's what the business is based on. I mean, I'm like you, Ray. I get myself into trouble because if I don't like someone, they'll know I don't like them. And there are so many horrible people that you end up with. People say, 'Oh, he's lovely, he's fantastic,'" reports The Express. He shared his forthright views on the pretense often found among actors and celebrities, commenting, "If they say to me, 'What's that Ray Winstone like?' I'll say he is lovely, and he is fantastic, and people will believe me because I wouldn't say it if you weren't, but so many are just false, false, false." While the trio concurred on the topic of insincerity in showbiz, they stopped short of naming anyone in particular. Eamon Holmes parted ways with This Morning for GB News in 2021 after a 15-year tenure on the iconic blue sofa, presenting the ITV program with his then-wife Ruth Langsford. A source relayed to the Mirror that Eamon's move from the show was timely for both him and ITV, saying, "All good things come to an end." Eamon Holmes speaks out over horrible co-stars and brands them false. Eamon Holmes has taken aim at fakery in the entertainment industry, saying that he has worked with so many horrible people. On the latest episode of his podcast, Things We Like, the former This Morning presenter interviewed English actor Ray Winstone about his career and relationship with Hollywood. When Winstone shared that he wouldn't live in Los Angeles because its celebrity residents are often wrapped up in a fantasy world, Holmes revealed his dislike for false personalities. Holmes, who presented This Morning alongside his ex-wife Ruth Langsford for 15 years, explained that his own refusal to keep up appearances in the entertainment industry has landed him in hot water more than once. "That's what the business is based on," he said. "If I don't like someone, they'll know I don't like them. And there are so many horrible people you end up with." He added, "People say, 'Oh, he's lovely, he's fantastic,' if they say to me, 'What's that Ray Winstone like?' I'll say he is lovely and he is fantastic and people will believe me, because I wouldn't say it if you weren't. But so many are just false, false, false." Winstone reflected on his opinions of celebrity culture in LA, saying, "Every 2 minutes, it's all they want to talk about. We talk about birds and football and boxing, they talk about movies." He added, "Even the guy who puts petrol in your car works in the industry." While Holmes did not name any colleagues, Winstone brought up his decades-old criticism of The Shining's Jack Nicholson, 88, whom he found to be very rude when they worked together on Martin Scorsese's Oscar-winning 2006 thriller The Departed. Winstone said, "We just didn't get on. He's just getting older, maybe there's lots of things going on with him. I didn't like him, I thought he was so far up his own ass. And he was very rude to me, and to my wife. If I had been a younger man, I would have knocked him out." Holmes's comments come after he recently revealed that he is reliant on a mobility scooter following spinal surgery for 3 slipped discs and a double hip replacement. The presenter has been learning to walk again following the back surgery in September 2023. He recently shared a picture from 3 years ago, which showed him standing at a film set, saying that seeing the photo had made him sad. "Great picture popped up from 3 years but it's made me sad. I could walk," he said. "Got to redouble my efforts." From news to politics, travel to sport, culture to climate, The Independent has a host of free newsletters to suit your interests. To find the stories you want to read, and more, in your inbox, click here.